So make sure that one's a pair of 3.
I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You got the very best guide.
Casey.
And the greatest driver. You're the best. I love it. Even though
Casey.
supposed to be $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Yes, a few quick safety rules via our lovely safety rules video. In the event of an emergency, or if you drop something over the side, or if you notice audio or video trouble, or should you need to leave the tour for any reason, pull the red cord running along the tram ceiling, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Also, please remain seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
Hello. Yes?
Every bottle of champagne sent to the room for us. We make sure that we are not disturbed for any reason.
Alright, not exactly a classic Universal film, just Jimmy Fallon having a little fun there on stage 20. On our right, we're about to pass by Fire Station 51, which is a real working fire station on our lot, but that is where we leave the real world behind and continue on into the cinematic world of make-believe. Running down the hill to the front lot, it houses the majority of our sound stages. Inside of those stages, we create any environment the story demands. Up ahead, a great example, stage 12. It's our oldest and largest sound stage. It's been used by numerous productions throughout the years. Let's take a look at a few of them here. Here we officially enter the front lot. As we do so on the right, you see there's been a lot of construction going on here. We're very excited to announce that Super Nintendo World is going to be opening up in early 2023 here at Universal Studios Hollywood. You can find updates about Super Nintendo World on our website, also on our social media accounts. Also, as we roll along, we're off to our left to pass by a couple blocks of sound stages. Some of them do have their side doors, their elephant doors open. You take a peek inside as you travel past. A couple of the shows to amuse these stages in this area somewhat recently include our Peacock series Bel Air with Jabari Banks, also the HBO Max series Hacks, that stars Emmy Award winner Gene Smart. Also, there is a great big building directly ahead of us. It is the Carl Laemmle building, named after our studio founder, Carl Laemmle. He formed Universal Pictures in New York all the way back in 1912, then moved west to actually end making movies on this property around 1914, though our official grand opening was out until March 15th of 1915. So this past March, well, we turned 107, not too shabby. Also, as we roll along here, coming up on our left is one of our larger sound stages. It's been repainted recently. It is stage 14. Prior to that, it was stage 21. We've been renumbering some of our sound stages recently because we've been building some new sound stages a lot, so we've been renumbering some of our older ones. For 4 seasons, this stage was home to the Mindy Project with Mindy Kaling, more recently used by Hacks. Back in 1995, it housed Mission Control for Apollo 13, directed by Ron Howard, starring Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, Kevin Bacon, and Bill Paxton.
Essential element for Apollo 13. After all, we were recreating an important moment in American history, a moment many Americans witnessed on television. We thought about filming in Houston, Texas, where the original control room for the Apollo mission still exists. Unfortunately, NASA's engineers didn't have filmmaking in mind when they built Mission Control. Since there was no room for the elaborate camera trays and tracks we needed for the shots, we had to build our own Mission Control. Everything had to be exact, even down to the tiniest detail.
Check out that car. What is it, Jay Leno here today or something? Looks like something he drive, right? Anywho, as we continue along here on our right, we'll pass by a couple more blocks of sound stages. The stages in this area primarily used for television. A couple of the shows recently in the area, Mr. Mayor with Tim Hansen, Holly Hunter, and Bobby Moynihan. series and everything like ever. It's executive produced by Mindy Kaling. Also notice a couple of minions there, lights with the illumination entertainment sign. Always up to a good bit of mischief. They do seem pretty proud of their handiwork. But the minions aren't the only crazy characters hanging out on this block. There is one more coming up on the left. It is Ted. You'll see that Ted is enjoying a nice late afternoon martini, probably in celebration of his Peacock series, Ted. Ted always very fond of martinis, but not so fond of sherry, so don't expect a sip. Probably not going to happen. Anyway, coming up on the right is the Bud Westmore building. Bud Westmore was a makeup artist. The Bud Westmore building actually has no makeup in it. It houses our lighting department. There's also a mill in the back where they build sets, but no makeup. Back over to our left, we've started to pass by some bungalows. Now these house the production offices for writers, producers, and directors who currently have a development deal with us at Universal. These next two bungalows that we'll pass by here at the left, 5180 and 5170. These bungalows kind of this attached parking lot here. You'll see some of the parking spot signs say reserved for $7 only. And that is quite a bargain. Okay, now $7 is the name of the production company of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They produce the series Young Rock on NBC. We're also going to pass probably our most historic bungalow. It's bungalow 5195. Now it's currently home to the De Laurentiis Company. But years ago belonged to Alfred Hitchcock, who directed such films as Psycho, Vertigo, and The Birds. As we pass by, you kind of see Hitch's profile next to the bungalow numbering. I think the greenery grow a little bit there, more than they usually do. Tight for trim. You can't see the Hitchcock profile. As we pass by Hitch's old spot, on our left, we'll get to the last two of our front lot sound stages. These stages are fairly new, about 5-6 years old. Recently, they were used for our series Kenan, which starred Kenan Thompson of Saturday Night Live fame. Don Johnson started the series as well. Currently, they're being used by a production that George Lopez is affiliated with. And as we pass by these stages, we're going to be crossing over a boundary of sorts. We're going to move from the front lot into the back lot. The back lot is where we shoot the big stuff, big exterior shots on a very large scale. As we enter the back lot, off to the left, catch just a little bit of the metropolitan area, which we use to portray major cities. We do have to keep our distance from Metro on today's tour. It has been laid claim to by a Netflix production that Nicole McKidman is connected with. So we're going to give them some space to do what they need to do. And we're going to continue up into the hills here. We're going to stop off and pay a visit to King Kong, and then introduce the man who brought Mr. Kong to us on the back lot in 2010, Academy Award winner Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong, the amazing one to direct. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just put them in your hand and you're about to return to Skull Island.
Alright, here we go, on the way to Skull Island. was done on some of the world's largest digital 3D screens. They are 40 feet tall, 180 feet long. The film itself utilizes some of the most advanced technology in filmmaking today. First time by Peter Jackson and his team at Digital. Hold on to your 3D glasses. We those one more time near the very end of the tour. But right now on the screens, look behind the scenes, King Kong 360 3D.
Not the good side, I guess. So far.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know that people are looking straight ahead with the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this, a lot of unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents the screen that's 10 meters away. We're ready to create in about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience. It's a hell of a lot.
Now, King Kong is one of our most recognizable big screen icons, but in just a moment we're going to show you a few more. Coming up, we'll be passing by some vehicles. They are known as picture cars. It'll take us a moment or two to get to them, so while we're en route, I'll put a few on your screens for you. Picture car is any vehicle on a set that can be seen by the camera. Some of our vehicles have become just as famous as the stars who've driven them, and over the years, the picture cars have grown bigger, better, and faster as movie audiences have embraced their need for speed. And we do a lot of good ones here in the lineup. Starting off with a more modern Knight Rider car. Kit looking in pretty good form there. Magnum PI's Ferrari. Biff's convertible from Back to the Future. Sans manure, fortunately. So Skyline from Back to the Future 2. And the Flintstones even made some donations a while back. To be honest, took a little bit to convince Fred to leave the Fredmobile, but we eventually agreed. We also do have a few new arrivals in the lineup. One of them is the Ford from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Also got a few vehicles of the Jurassic variety. Another new arrival, the Crawdaddy boat from the Jordan Peele film Us. And then at the far end, we have a few miscellaneous vehicles.
Magnum PI's Ferrari. That's Biff's from Back to the Future. Back to the Future right there. Back to the Future right there. Flintstones. Oh, here comes my car, Skyline. R34. I want to take this car out of here so bad. I want this R34, baby. It's got the Brembos on there.
As we start to exit the picture car lineup, on our left, just because every once in a while someone will ask about it, there's kind of this strange looking structure here, left-hand side. That is the remnants of our old Fast and Furious attraction. It was based on the third film of the series, Tokyo Drift.
It was the cars that danced around.
Closed it down to a much more advanced attraction.
It wasn't very good.
A little later in the tour. You see the old one here was open-topped. Inside there as we travel past. Basically, you pull inside and there'd be some music playing and these cars would dance around.
Yeah,
it was
when we did this
kind of a wacky thing.
You can see it.
But
It was
kind of
weird.
Advanced attractions since then. Anywho, we continue on here to an island off the coast of Costa Rica.
To Jurassic Park.
Yes, welcome to Jurassic Park. You'll see many of the set pieces and vehicles from Jurassic Park and the Lost World Jurassic Park, both of which star Jeff Goldblum. On our left, we're starting to pass by the big camouflage RV that was the mobile lab unit in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Just beyond that, we can put it Humvee. It's got the swing chairs on the side of around of dinosaurs. We'll even get a better look at the... Oh, wait a minute. No, watch out.
They're going to pop up and squirt you. The squirting dinosaurs, I think. They'll pop up in a minute. Just a couple dinosaurs come on. Yeah.
Yes, a nice long short bits, nice and invigorated for the rest of your day here at Universal. As we just found out, nothing ever truly extinct here in Hollywood, not even dinosaurs. We'll go ahead and continue on down south now, so to speak, here on the back lots, an area called Old Mexico. It's going to use the feature films like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I hope this doesn't stop competing. It feels cool. I know.
Also TV shows like Amazing Stories, ER, Back Trace. And since it's been a pretty nice day, we just we kind of mix things up a little bit here.
Last time I missed it, I got it too late.
Probably as good a spot as any, so we'll come down here and see if we can conjure up. Okay, we conjured up a bit of a thunderstorm. Might catch an occasional lightning flash. So you hear a little thunder, and audio is next up with speakers. And here is your rain. Sprinkler signs overhead, shoot water up into the air, water comes right back down, keeping the illusion of falling rain. So no matter how many consecutive days of sunshine you might have here in Universal City, we can make a rain, thunderstorm, whatever we want right here on the back. And it is nice in the lower temperatures. Shower, let it cool off. Regardless of what we wear, we don't want to stick around too long. You might notice we already in the flying area at the bottom of the hill. Rain, of course, potentially cause certain problems like a flash flood or a flood slide. So we do need to run rain. Too much rain, flash flood time. Water gets close. Mexico to one of our western sets, rendering 6 Points, Texas. One of our famous movie cowboys, and those who do 6 points at one time or another. Talking about guys like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Clint Eastwood, Woody Strode, Jimmy Fallon.
All the cool kids.
Jimmy Fallon, that can't be right.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this town don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I heard this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican
I remember
standoff. Lucky shot.
I want to see you mount up and get out of town while the kid is good.
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Well, you can count on me, Fallon. Again.
Now the area gets the name 6 Points, Texas, because many, many years ago, in our silent filmmaking days, we could shoot 6 different movies in here at the same time. We just press each street like a different town. Each street had its own bank, its own sheriff's station, its own saloon, and its own hotel. Over the last few years, the biggest production to utilize 6 Points, the feature film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt starring. The most recent production to utilize the 6 Points area, the continuation of the Quantum Leap series with Raymond Lee and Ernie Hudson starring in some of our NBC shows. As we have exited the wild, wild west, off to the left, you'll kind of have to look through a few trees, but a small body of water called Park Lake, back in 1954, was used to shoot a few scenes for one of our classic monster movies, Creature from the Black Lagoon. The creature is long gone, but a lot of times when we come out here, I guess it kind of depends on the time of year, there will be a good number of ducks who will float in, and I like to call the Park Lake area back like their home, at least for a while. Anyway, we continue our trek here. The world is right around the corner here on the Universal backlot. That's how we like it. It's pretty convenient that way. And coming up ahead of us is our European sets. They're affectionately known as Little Europe. Not too long ago, Little Europe was used extensively for The Good Place with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. In fact, one of their signs is still up there off to the right. We do have access to Little Europe on today's tour. We're going to come in for a closer look. In fact, we'll kind of just wind our way right through the middle of it here. As we do that, we'll see how it was used for The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead. This location, the afterlife, cool. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Yes, they had a good time at The Good Place. Also known about Little Europe, it is where a lot of our famous movie monsters got their big breaks back in the 1930s and 40s. Guys like Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman, and Dracula prowled the streets of Little Europe back in our movie monster heyday.
Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, right? The Mummy, Pushback of the Day, The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera, classic things are just brilliant. That Frankenstein you mentioned, Flathead. It's one of the great icons of the world.
That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film.
I was just mesmerized by this movie. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
Yes, indeed we do. As we start to exit the far side of Little Europe, off to the left, it's a lovely California ranch style home. For a long time, that was part of the setup of the Hallmark Channel show Home and Family. More recently, it's been used by our Peacock series Bel Air, and that stars Jabari Banks.
Oh, the
and
new,
we'll now have another opportunity
yeah, the new
to head indoors. You see up ahead of us here, Stage 50. Stage 50 is one of the few multi-level sound stages in the world. Some years back, used to film part of an episode of the Fox series Bones with David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel. Check some of that footage out as we make our way inside. Also, just in case you're wondering, you do not need your 3D glasses for Stage 50.
Oh yeah, this is the
Yeah.
Here's where the great.
That's him. Right over there.
Feels like it's breaking. Like.
So even though Stage 50 is an attraction, some extra razzle-dazzle for the tour, legitimate filming does take place there from time to time. Speaking of time, not doing too bad in that aspect on the tour. We're a little over halfway finished. So earlier I mentioned when we were loading up that our pal Jaws is doing some refurbishment of his lake. Well, it's coming up on the right. You see him out here, making sure everything's on the up and up. Yep, there he is. I don't know, I kind of find this interesting. A lot of people don't see this. You don't usually get to come by Jaws' lake and see it just bone dry and all the inner workings there. But yeah, Jaws keeping a very fins-on approach with the refurbishment of his attraction. So anyway, we'll continue up the hill here. Coming up on the right is a great big house called the Chicken Ranch. We used it in many productions throughout the years. And of course, as we pass by, we'll take a look at a few of its credits. The Chicken Ranch, by the way, is what we call a practical set. That means it can be used for interior filming as well as exterior. It is not a facade structure, a false front like we see in its backyard. The backyard structure is a leftover from a show called About a Boy that starred Minnie Driver. And as we pass by the Chicken Ranch, coming up on the left, a little side street with a green cone next to it, that is the entrance to Colonial Street, a nice little residential setup here on the back lot. Colonial Street for 8 years was Wisteria Lane, home to the Desperate Housewives of ABC. Currently it is being used for our Peacock series, Ted, with Seth MacFarlane. And you know, on the tour we can see some places where movies and TV shows have been filmed, but the tour tram itself has also been featured on the big and small screens throughout the years. Let's take a look at a few of our tram cameos. As it turns out, we are riding on history. We've been traveling uphill on a street with a famous name, Steven Spielberg Drive. You see the signage for it over here on the right. Mr. Spielberg, of course, a long working relationship with us at Universal, and so he's got a street that bears his name. And we're now going to give you kind of a second helping, if you will, of vehicles. We went through our picture car lineup a little earlier, but nowadays we got this secondary stash a little further out here in the back. Check those out as well. Definitely a unique mix, everything from a double-decker bus, Mr. Bean's little car is parked next to it there. Got some vehicles of the Fast and Furious variety, even the Mystery Machine is there. This Shaggy, Scooby, and the gang must be out solving a mystery or something.
Oh, there's the RX-7.
Around the corner from that, we'll find ourselves at a very historic set. The Bates Motel. In the distance is the Psycho House. These are two of the oldest freestanding sets in all of Hollywood. The Psycho House up on the hill is built at 3/4 scale, so on screen it's going to look farther away than it actually is. It's also what we call a shell structure. Basically, you open up the front door, pretty much one big wide open space, and really puts it down to the interior rooms. So I'll continue up the trail here, aptly called the Psycho Pass, P-A-S-S. Nice job, Universal, very inventive. Go by the front of the Psycho House. If you look to the upstairs window, the upper left face, should be able to wave hello to Mother, who's often up there watching the trams go by. She doesn't get out much. Kind of how she spends her days. We'll pass her, continue into another fantastic set, the incredible crash site from Steven Spielberg's version of War of the Worlds. It in theaters back in 2005, starring Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, and Tim Robbins.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision of Steven.
You forget to sit down and talk about the War of the World. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep pressing me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Sit down closed.
Bobby, get in. Get in. You're wondering, yes, that is an actual aircraft, a 747 that was destroyed specifically for this incredible scene. Despite the use of the life-size realistic set pieces, the film did feature over 500 effect shots. That's more than Mr. Spielberg has ever used before. And you're probably aware, but these last couple sections we traveled through a lot of extra decoration, fencing, some sound shielding, put up all kinds of good stuff. That's, of course, all here because of our Halloween Horror Night events. Out of this area specifically, we do what is called the Terror Tram. If you're not familiar with it, Halloween Horror Night events, we One of the things we do, take tram loads of people out here on the back lot, drop you off. You actually get to walk through these areas, through the Bates Motel, Psycho House, War of the World's crash site, all the while being accosted by ghouls and zombies and all kinds of fun stuff. So
they go through there?
Time to you. We're going to come back and check out Halloween Horror Nights, take the Terror Tram. But now another special treat for you. We're going to head into Jupiter's Claim, the actual sets used in production of Academy Award winner Jordan Peele's most recent film, Nope. We're coming in for a closer look. Who better tell you about this setup than the man himself, Mr. Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, a little further down, you can see brand new Star Lasso Experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. I'm looking so live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town, welcome to the world of No.
Very near the end of the tour. Looks like we'll have to head indoors one more time. Starting into Sullivan Truck Repair. Just received a special communique from a good friend of the tours, Agent Hobbs of the Diplomatic Security Service. He informed me that someone on board the vehicle is a government witness. And that particular government witness has been tracked by a very dangerous individual named Owen Shaw. So Hobbs suggested we move into Sullivan Truck Repair, kind of hide out for a bit. Fortunately, Hobbs and a few of his close associates have offered to lend us some assistance. Very nice. Again, this first day, we are supposed to be able to contact a gentleman named Colonial Pierce. He gets here. He's going to let us know where we're going, what we're doing, all that kind of fun stuff.
Colonial Pierce.
Let's just talk about it.
Nice to meet you. Woody Hobbs asked us to stash you Shaw for a while. Brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over, it's a little messy. It's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in the third row. Look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there is made by my man Ted. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
One job to do, Norman, none. All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here. So put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash, one ringtone, and give us a call.
We're gonna take this real serious.
Okay, on to the next bay.
And look at this. We are just in time for the party.
Everybody out! The FBI! Turn that music off!
This is what we doing. This is the race day after party. And the where the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Bill,
That's right, party's over.
you know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm like,
You're under arrest right now.
ladies, let's back up a little bit. Got it. It's like that. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, safety, I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss. Got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Sean traced us. House can't hold forever. Letty, Roland, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door. Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Alright, like Roman said, it's going to get really interesting. So we got the marking garage, put your glasses on.
Looking for you. You got family.
And then it's going to wrap it up for us on the tour as we head back to the upload area. Take a look around, make sure you have all your personal belongings with you. Also, as we head back, a special message from Paul Rudd and friends.
So many times since I was a kid. I just want to do it again.
The first time I ever went on the Universal lot, we did the tour.
I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was like the place to go and see Jaws.
I got my introduction to Universal Studios through the tours, then being in the movies and seeing the trams drive by. It's very overwhelming.
One of the coolest things actually about shooting for Universal is sometimes you shoot on the lot, and then you look over and it's like there's Jaws, so like there's the flash flood and all those trams are riding around. It's the coolest thing ever.
1979. Back then, the tram drivers were kind of a little reckless and crazy. There was no restriction on cars going in. We used to drive all over and kind of duel with them back and forth.
I have so many amazing memories of the lot when we were shooting Back to the Future.
Being here brings me back in time, I'll tell you that.
When the tram would come through, the tourists would see Michael J. Fox, and they're taking their camera snap, snap, snap. So one day, Michael J. Fox had his own camera, and every time the tourists came through snapping their pictures, he ran out and he started taking pictures of them.
They are? Mine are? Probably. Really?